Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tarot with Titania reading of the week for June 5th to the 12th, 2026. I'm glad you're here and that you'll add your energy to mine so that we can powerfully co-create the reading for this week for all of our personal and our collective highest and greatest good. I invite you to close your eyes and take 3 nice deep breaths with me to bring your energy into sync with mine across time and space. And with that third exhale, I invite you to imagine a tree root coming down out of the base of your spine, going deep, deep down into Mother Earth and grounding you here, now, in this present moment, knowing that this tree root is not only grounding you, but it is also providing you with a conduit through which anything that no longer serves you can easily pass down into Mother Earth and become compost for your new good growth. Creator, this is your daughter, Titania. Once again, we are gathered here to co-create this reading of the week for Friday, June 5th to Friday, June 12th, 2026. My intention is to be a clear channel for the information we most need to receive right now, and to provide this in a manner that we will easily and effortlessly hear, understand, and integrate for our personal and our collective highest and greatest good. I call upon my higher self and the higher selves of all those listening, as well as an overlighting angel of communication, to be present and facilitate our exchange, ensuring that it happens in the highest and best way possible, and that we cover all that is in our hearts and minds, personally and collectively, at this time, in service to our highest and greatest good in the window we have together here today. I'd like to acknowledge the overlighting Deva of Heart's Home, where I find myself held and in such a beautiful and supportive manner. And I acknowledge the overlighting Devas wherever you find yourself. Thank you to the spirits of these places for co-creating with us and caring for us in the best way possible. I'd like to invite the 4 archangels to come and hold the 4 directions around us, creating a sacred container across time and space where we, on a broader, wiser level, can all show up fully and co-create and collaborate to make this a very deeply supportive and helpful reading for our good at this time. I invite Raphael to hold the east, Michael to hold the south, Gabriel to hold the west, and Uriel to hold the north. Thank you for coming. We set the tone for ease, for clarity, for wisdom, for flow, for discernment, for transformation, for whatever is uppermost for each of us individually and collectively may be held here, honored here, and acknowledged here in the best way possible in service to our personal and highest creative good, collective good, so that we may rise and become the best versions of ourselves in service to more love and light through us out into the world. Anything that doesn't match these frequencies and intentions is welcome to go now. And let's get into the reading, shall we? Okay, what do we need to know this week, Creator? In service to our personal and our collective best, that we may be of best service to each other, to ourselves, and to the world, making our contribution in the highest and best way possible, and navigating whatever obstacles are in our way. Thank you. All right, we're starting with the Ace of Pentacles. The name of the card is Reward. It's sitting in what we consider the past position. This position indicates information from our past that's important and relevant now in going forward. So this idea of the acorn that can grow into the oak tree. Pentacles are the earth element. Everything that has to do with being in these human bodies and having a good experience in these human bodies. It's home, it's community, it's family, these beautiful bodies, food, nature, money, all of it. It's all part of the earth element. So this fresh start, new beginnings, kernels of possibilities that grow into massive things that we can't even begin to understand. That's the quality of the ace. And we're starting with this energy of the aces. A bit of glare, sorry about that. So this Ace of Pentacles, this earth element, is important. This fresh start on the level of the earth element. And let's face it, that's where humanity's sitting. We are going through transformation. The kitchen is being renovated. We're tearing out the old one, but we don't know what the new one looks like yet. So this quality of what do we want and getting into the energy and the frequency of what will it feel like more than anything, because I don't think we in our human minds can comprehend from where we've been, where we're going. I think there's going to be such a radical departure that it's difficult for us to articulate that, have a vision of it, unless you're clairvoyant. And if you are, please share your visions below. And for the rest of us, let's focus on what we want to feel like going forward. We want to be peaceful. We want to be joyful. We want to be purposeful, fulfilled, happy, loving and being loved, sharing our gifts in magnificent ways, helping others to share theirs in beautiful ways, in harmony, in upliftment, gathering with others who resonate with us, and coming together to make our offering even greater. And if you're a solo person, having the environment or the space where you can show up in the best way possible and do what it is that you're here to do as well. Because we're all here to do and be the way we came to be. We came to be unique. And that uniqueness is essential to the planet at this time. The present card is the Wheel of Fortune, Major Arcana. What goes up must come down. What goes around comes around. So we really need to be intentional about what we are creating right now. This week, we need to be on it. Not random, but intentional. And I don't want this to sound like a major effortful thing, because it's not. It does require our attention. We need to be acting from high integrity and putting into life what it is that we would love to get out of life. As you sow, so shall you reap. That kind of quality. So as we move through life this week, we need to be very intentional, very disciplined, and very deliberate about how we're seeding our future with our words, with our actions, with how we're being even energetically. So this is it's requiring us to be quite mindful this week and quite present and deliberate. Okay, we've got the Ace and we've got the Two, change, Two of Pentacles, and we know it. It is a time of change. We are shedding the skins of who we were and growing into who we are becoming. And there's that raw feeling because we don't know yet what this is. As we shed a skin, I can only imagine how sensitive that snake must feel as that new skin touches the air and starts to harden and become the scales of what it was, what it had before, but different. So are we shedding. So are we changing. So is that the time that we're living through. This is why our intentionality and our presence and our deliberate intentional presence is essential at this time. We need to be operating from this place of keeping it clean, keeping it lofty, keeping it beautiful, keeping it purposeful, keeping it intentional, so that we can create the most magnificent change that we want to see, because we are the creators. And if we're informed by how we want it to go, which is what we're talking about here, this card of reward, it's not about getting something, it's about creating something magnificent. The reward is in the satisfaction of being a manifester, of being a co-creator with life and pulling things in. And we do this by getting into the frequency and the energy of what it is that we want. And when we're clear about that, whatever aspect of life this is referring to, we're much more able to be deliberate and intentional and on target as we navigate life and pull in the change that we want to change. Moving in the direction. It just helps us. This deliberate intentionality helps us to move in right direction. And as I've been talking about, a vision board is a great way to do this, or a master list. It's like, get it out of your head, get it out of the field, the nebulous field that surrounds all of us, get it outside of us, using the language, the words, the colors, the images that represent energetically what we're trying to capture, the essence of it. And it's not specifics like 4 doors, a red car, standard, blah, 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 whatever that looks like for you. It's more the feeling of it. Freedom, well-being, ability to be where we want to be when we want to be there. Fun, that kind of quality. What is the essence of what you want to create in this field? So as we do this work personally, we benefit collectively. The more individuals who are doing this, who are deliberate and intentional and on it, the faster we will get to this new place, to manifesting a new deliberate way of existing. So thank you for being here. Thank you for doing your good work. Maybe take a little bit of time this week. Harness the energy of this time. Up in the Northern Hemisphere, we're moving towards the solstice. It's like, let's use this very, 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 very full, ample energy and direct it in good ways, in beautiful ways, to create what it is that we want to create. And you don't ever get it done. Let me just say that. This is an ongoing process. We never stop desiring. That is the core of our humanness, this desire, this aspirational quality, this wanting to attract or be or continue to experience more. And it's not a bad thing. Sometimes we get judgmental about ourselves because we keep wanting stuff. And well, maybe if it's stuff and it doesn't serve us, that's a problem. I mean, hoarders, that kind of thing. I mean, it's maybe not the healthiest thing for us to be doing. But what we need to come back to is that fundamental desire is an inherent part of our human experience of being in these bodies and moving through the world at this time. And that desire is what propels us forward as individuals and as a collective. So we need to ally with our desire force and clarify what it is that we want. And we do that by getting connected to our yes, by getting into a clean and clear place and saying, how do I want to feel? What do I want to be moving forward? How do I want to feel in my experience? What are the qualities? What words represent the qualities of what I am seeking? Comfort, abundance, beauty, harmony, friendship, love, community, joy, celebration, whatever the words are for you, get them out of your head and onto paper. The process of that is so powerful. It is an act of magic to take things from our consciousness and create a solid thing outside of ourselves, whether that's a Bristol board covered in pictures and markers, or whether that's a piece of paper with all that scrawling all over it. It doesn't matter. In the process of doing this, we're refining what we prefer, we're getting clear about it, and we can be way more purposeful when we've done that good work. And look at that. The foundation card for this week. We have the Four of Hearts, seclusion. Reevaluation. There's a seclusion aspect to it because she's pulled herself away from the distractions of the world. She's created a little bit of a safe space where she can go through her box of treasures and decide what she's keeping and what she's letting go of. Reevaluation. And she's doing this from an intentional place. We see her crown chakra is all lit up. So she has that lovely lotus on the top of her head. And that is our foundation. Why we're having the reading this week is we need to be spending time in reflection, self-reflection, reevaluating. Where have we come from? Where do we want to go? What do we want to carry forward with us? What's important to us on the level of the heart? Because we're changing and growing constantly. And we do need to pause and take time to discern, is this still mine? Or have I moved on from this? Is this no longer relevant? And that can be a pair of shoes or some garments in your closet, to where you live, to relationships, to aspects of yourself, things that you used to do that you're just not into anymore. And that's okay. Continually cleaning it up. It frees our energy. And doing this process of reevaluation, of reflection, of what do we want to put into the pipeline so that we can pull it towards us? Because as we sow, so shall we reap. But what we need to understand is that what we're putting out into the universe is going to come back to us amplified. That's really important. So if we're putting things that aren't so great out into the universe, we might be experiencing more of things that we don't really want. But fundamentally, I think what is even more important is that practice of gratitude, that practice of appreciation, that noticing what we love and giving that into our lives, feeding that into our pipeline, into our future, so that when we go to collect on that, that's what we're pulling forward towards us, is that really high, lofty, intentional energy. And it's a beautiful thing when we live according to our yes, when we line up and bring our desire to a high level, purified desire, and live into the change and transformation that is possible when we do this good work from this beautiful, grounded, intentional, heartfelt place, because it is a heart. This isn't a mind thing. This is a heart thing. And these are bodies, right? We have water and earth. This is the energy of the heart and the body. The body is the compass. It always knows our yes. It always knows our no if we're paying attention. We have to come back to the body with our mind. The mind, as we know, wanders forever and ever, will go on all kinds of adventures and make all kinds of strange, random decisions without consulting the heart or the body if we're not conscious or deliberate. That's why we need the breath. Breathe back into that beautiful body, land in that beautiful body, and make your decisions from that heart-body space. Very important. So I think that's pretty clear this week. We're going to need to spend some time. A little bit of time on our own, a little bit of time being deliberate and intentional, a little bit of time of feeling into the future that we want to create, understanding that we're seeding this not just for ourselves, but for all of humanity. And the more of us that do this, the faster that beautiful future is going to come our way. So it behooves us to take the time to do this, because it will serve us just as it will serve all of humanity and this beautiful planet. We are so privileged to get to be on at this time and live in and among, with all its gorgeous nature and miraculous, incredible diversity of life and geological formation and weather, and amazing. Really, it is an amazing, amazing experience to be here. So with that, let's pull our card to grow on. See if we can just succinctly summarize the reading this week in service to our highest and greatest good. So Creator, thank you so much for those beautiful cards. What do we need to know? How do we summarize this information? What is it that we can carry with us? Our card to grow on for the coming week that we can carry on our heart mind as we navigate and bring our best to life in service to more love and light on the planet. The Hanged Man. Major Arcana. Pulling ourselves up by our own bootstraps to create a new perspective, to give ourselves an opportunity to look at our lives in a new and different way. So this is a beautiful and important thing for us to spend some time on this week. So just as I was suggesting, taking some time apart, writing things out, taking some time to contemplate, to reevaluate, this is also important. Think about little kids who bend forward and put their head between their legs and look at the world upside down just for a change of perspective, and how delightful that is to them. We need to do something similar. The Hanged Man isn't hanging from his neck. He's hanging from his boots. He's hung himself upside down so the blood goes to his head and he can see things and think about things in a different way, benefiting from that rush to the head. Of course, you don't want to spend all your time there because that's not healthy. We're not designed to hang upside down all the time. But creating a reframe or a I am lacking words, but creating a new way of looking at things by being deliberate about how we're doing that. And that can be just looking at life from a different perspective, a new lens, softening a little, and perhaps considering a different perspective than you ever have before. And being open to there being something wonderful there for us in terms of how we're looking at our lives, how we're looking at our experience, and how we can adjust it and hone it so it serves us even more. Because when we have supportive perspective within, a supportive lens that we're looking through, we move through life in a completely different way than if we have an unsupportive perspective. And let's face it, We're often trained to have an unsupportive perspective, to focus on what's wrong, to look out what could go wrong, which can in turn limit us and cause us not to take any action for fear of things going the way we don't want them to be. I find a really good solution is considering things from that place of gratitude, from appreciation, looking for what is working and getting lined up with that momentum and that energy. All the good in one's life, counting one's blessings is so incredibly powerful for shifting energy towards more flow, more ease, more clarity, more fun, more enjoyment, more of what we want. Because life gets resonant with us. Life is always working with our resonance. It's always working with our frequency. And when we get into harmony with right frequency, when I mean right, I'm talking about congruent for us. It works for us. It's what we want, not what somebody else is telling us to do, what we want. We pull it in that much more quickly. Our practice of doing a vision board or a master list gets us into the energetic vicinity of what we want and familiar with it, so that the universe goes, oh, that's what you want? You like that? Let me send you some more of that. And our gratitude continues to pull more of what we want towards us. And we recognize our good as it comes towards us because we've done the pre-paving by paying attention to what it is, how we want to feel. And we can recognize our good as it comes towards us. It's like, yeah, you're for me. No, you're not for me. So this is all part of this incredible perspective that we have running this week for our readings. Creating a different perspective, pulling in a different perspective. We ourselves creating it through our attention, through our focus, through our resonance and our energy, pulling life towards us at a new level. And that creating the change that we want to see in our personal and our collective lives. We get to be the change, and this is what it means. This is how we do it. So, beautiful and big. It's a good reading. We have orange, the color of inspiration this week. And with that, thank you. Let's take a nice deep breath together and close the reading. Creator, this is your daughter, Titania, and I am here with all of your children. And we are so grateful for the information we are receiving, so grateful for the opportunity to do this life in a bigger, better, more joyful, more heartfelt, and satisfying and fulfilling way. I'd like to invite healing energy for all those who need it this week. And we do, because we're human. But let's pull in what it is that we need from source energy, calling it in so that we can clear away whatever obstacles there are to our good, to our being clearings for more love and light and beauty and harmony on this planet, in service to more good, love, light, and harmony. Help us to forgive ourselves for wherever we have been held up and maybe operating in the less than way. Help us to open to who we really are, to have more of that in every moment. And as I said, to effortlessly clear away down that ground into the earth whatever no longer serves us, so we can clean up our field, weave in those stray threads of energy, and be on purpose, deliberate, intentional, and moving beautifully forward in life towards all that our hearts are calling us towards. I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank all those who helped to hold the space this week, including the overlighting intelligences of the land wherever you are, including the archangels, our guardians, our guides, the broader, wiser parts of us, and all those who I am nowhere there but can't name. Thank you. I'm grateful you're here. I'm grateful you're doing the work. And if you'd like to work with me, the information is underneath this video. We can do online readings. I also can create custom blends for helping to clear away obstacles in your field of the botched flower remedies. I'm also a homeopath. So if you would like to work with me, all that to say, it's available. Look into it. The information is below. And otherwise, I'm glad you're here. And I'm glad you show up every week. Thank you for that, for adding your energy to mine and co-creating these beautiful readings for all of our highest and greatest good. I will look forward to seeing you next week. Have a brilliant week. Have a wonderful time getting into resonance with who you really are, your desire, and where you want to go and you want that experience to be like. And if you have inspiration that might help the rest of us, or you just want to share, please put it underneath, because I do read the comments and it is really fun to interact with you here. Thank you for that. Much love and light. Until next time.